Hi guys, greetings of the day. This is Vivekavardhan. Welcome to my YouTube channel for learning a subject called Fluid Power Engineering for 5th semester and Fluid Power Systems for 7th semester as per VTC. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, kindly subscribe. Also, click on the bell icon to receive the latest lectures as and when it is uploaded in my YouTube channel. Now let's start the session number 4, which includes the general types of fluids. The performance, maintenance, cost, breakdown, service life of the fluid power system depends on the type of the fluids used, and the different types of fluids which is going to be used called as the water, petroleum oils, and the synthetic oils. Coming to water as a fluid medium through a suitable for certain application does not meet all the good qualities as a liquid medium. It has more of disadvantages than its advantages, that being it is economical and easily available. But rather the disadvantages are as follows, which is nothing but it causes a rusting and corrosion of components, and it causes the ineffective lubrication, and also a temperature variation is going to happen a lot, and the contamination with the foreign particles might cause the abrasive action on the smooth interior surface of the hydraulic elements, and the poor operating efficiency, which also reduces the life of the equipments. Whereas the petroleum oil and synthetic oil meet all the requirements for perfect and trouble-free efficient performance of the hydraulic system, provided care is taken for proper refining and fortification. Then coming to additives, the oil additives are a chemical compounds that improve the performance of base oil either by imparting new properties to the base oil or by enhancing properties already present. A petroleum oil is still by far for the most highly used base for hydraulic fluids. In general, the petroleum oil has the following desirable properties, which are excellent lubricity, higher demisability, more oxidation resistance, higher viscosity index, protection against rust, and good sealing characteristics, easy dissipation of heat, and easy cleaning by filtration. Oil can be kept clean by filtering or gravity separation of the contaminants. Most of the desirable properties of the fluid, if not already present in the crude oil, can be incorporated through refining or adding additives. The manufacturer of many different oils can utilize the same base stock for each formulation and can choose different additives for each specific application. Additives can be defined as substances that improve the performance of the oil, hence it should have some of the basic rules. At first, enhance the existing base oil properties with antioxidants, corrosion inhibitors, and antifoam agents along with the demulsifying agents. And it also suppresses undesirable base properties with 4-point dispersants and viscosity index improves. And it also impart the new properties to the base oil with the extreme pressure additives, detergents, and metal deactivators and Tacnis agents. The common additives used in the hydraulic system are antioxidants as follows, one by one. The first one is oxidation inhibitors. Oxidation causes the chemical reaction and formation of acidic products that leads to corrosion problems. The oxidation rate increases with temperature. Certain additives having greater affinity for oxygen are added so that they easily react them with the oil. Then second one, corrosion inhibitors. These additives forms a thin film on a metal surface and shield it from coming in direct contact with the chemicals or acids in the fluid, thereby preventing corrosion problems. Then viscosity index improver. These additives are long chain polymers that stay in a coiled form in the hydraulic fluid. At a low operating temperature, they have no effect on viscosity. But when the temperature rises, these polymers uncoil and intermesh, causing a thickness effect in the fluid, thereby not allowing the viscosity to drop down. Then coming to anti-wear additives, these are either a long chain polymer or a extreme pressures additives. The long chain polymers are absorbed in the metal surfaces, causing a high local temperature and polish the surface. This helps in reducing the surface roughness and hence the wear problem. Then anti-foam additives, which are also called as defoamers. Certain additives such as silicone polymer acts as defoamers. They cause a rapid breakdown of the foam by removing the entrained air bubbles. Foaming occurs in oil as a surface phenomenon, and hence the bubble of air are encircled by an oil film and cannot escape. These bubbles under pressure become a very hot and can be cause of a system overheating, and foam usually forms in the reservoir, and if drawn into the pump section can cause a noisy pump operation and may even damage the pump parts. The control response is unreliable. Although all fluids are susceptible to foaming, the amount of foam in a system can be reduced to a minimum by the addition of chemical depressants. And the next pour point, depressant. A pour point is the temperature at which the fluid ceases to flow. The minimum operating temperature in the hydraulic system should be at least 10 degrees above the pour point, and the pour point depressants inhibit the formation of wax crystal in the mineral oils and hence enhances the pour points. There is a range of pour point depressant activities of the different chemical spices. The most important ones are polymethacrylates and polyacrylates and alkylated naphthalene. Then coming to the effect of temperature and pressure on the hydraulic fluid. The oil is the first component which will be influenced by the changes in the surrounding condition, and all its properties will be changed, especially for changes in the temperature and pressure. Then what are the effects of temperature on the hydraulic fluids which is going to happen? The fluid temperature stability is essential to the success of mechanical systems. All the hydraulic system and lubricating fluids have practical limits on the acceptable operating temperature range, and the machine loses the stability and experiences conditional failure when the system's fluid temperature violates these limits. If care is not taken, then the conditional failure ultimately results in both material performance and degradation of the machine components. Hence, the high temperature effects is going to be imposed, and it can be fixed by fluid exposed to the high temperature can experience the permanent deterioration resulting in reduction in fluid viscosity, which is one of the most obvious effects of the high temperature operation. Viscosity decreases rapidly with increasing temperature because the mobility of the fluid molecules becomes hyperactive as gases deabsorb and lighter fractions of the fluid vaporize. And the reason for increasing temperature is system design of higher power density, and fluid temperature well above the current norms will become increasingly common, and the system exposed to hostile environment and severe duty cycles. Then the remedial measure is going to be the need of supplemental heat transfer capability, and on synthetic fluids will become the apparent. So by this, I am going to stop my session for the day. Thanks for your patience listening to the session. If you are having any sort of doubts, feel free to use the comment section for further discussion. I will answer all your questions related to the topics covered in the session. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Signing off, Vijay Tavardhan. Have a great day. Thank you.